seeing there Cyango, a company focused on VR applications and other kind of, he will tell us about, okay? And so let's welcome him, and let's do some questions as well in the end, so that we can learn more about this new technology. Adriaan, your floor is yours.
Yes,
Can you just speak more closely here, because I think we are having a problem with...
What is this thing?
Yes.
What is it?
Microphone. Because we have people.
Maybe you can hold
we have people.
We have people online as well.
Nice, hello everybody online. So, thank you for having me. My name is Adriaan. I'm from the Netherlands and I traveled here 3 years ago. But first I want to tell you a story about how I got into VR. So, 10 years ago more or less, there was a Kickstarter project called Oculus. As we all know now, the glasses, and I participated in this Kickstarter project. I started to have a lot of ideas. What can I do with this new technology? What kind of applications can be built? In those early days, the resolution was not so good and it was just a development kit. Now, 10 years later, we have a fully functioning VR glass that has high quality images. And in that time, I was thinking, oh, okay, I'm gonna buy like 4 computers, 4 other, like a treadmill where you can stand in and you can walk in VR without moving. And unfortunately, that whole budget was like more than 100,000 euros. And being back in the day, finding investors that want to support you is just very difficult. So I was thinking, okay, what am I going to do now? So I started to think. I have a background in audiovisual engineering, so I'm going to be a content producer. Because content is always needed, always. Let me think. So I first bought a small camera, a 360 camera, like this one, to test out if I liked, being a content producer. I liked it, so then I quit my job. I received some extra money. I could invest in a professional 360 camera. I wanted 4,000 euros. It's a lot of money for me, and I said to myself, okay, Adriaan, you quit your job, you just bought a very expensive professional 360 camera, and now you're going to create content. So I was going from door to door, knocking at hotels, restaurants, museums, providing virtual tours. Basically what Google Street View does for outside, I did for inside. And that was very profitable and everybody was liking it, because it's basically a very good way of opening up the doors and showing your business or museum to the world. So I thought, okay, if I can do this in the Netherlands, I can do it everywhere. So I bought a car and a caravan and I started to travel through Europe. I made a plan to go a trip 3 times, going from the coast all the way down to Spain and then back up. And then I was here in Lisbon, and wow, what a crazy highway system. I never saw this in my life before, and I had a car crash, boom. So I needed to wait 2 weeks for the repairs of the car. And then in those 2 weeks, I met some Brazilians and some other nice people. They showed me around the city. I was like, this is a very nice city. So I got, they told me, Adriaan, go to Fabrica Bras Prata. Maybe you know it. It's like a nice cultural hub in Beato. And I went there, I told a little bit of my story there to the owner, Lulu. He said, Adriaan, that's a good story. You can stay here, do your art, photograph the whole place. We give you food, you don't have to pay for nothing. Well, that's a good deal. So I stayed there for 3-4 months. And then Corona, boom. All my clients disappeared because there's no more restaurants, there's no more bars, there's no more hotels, everything was closed. So I got into a different project, it's called the Plastic Hike. We were traveling with a German the whole coast of Portugal, cleaning up the beach from plastic, and I was helping to create a documentary out of it. During that time, I did some works at campings, because the campings were still open. And when I got back, this camping owner, she sent me a message. Adriaan, look at this website, Cyango. I looked and I was like, this is my dream come true. This is everything that I always wanted. Because what I did before with this camera. I was just taking pictures, but I wanted to create videos because videos have way more impact than just still photographs. And before it was not really possible for me to use the camera as a video camera because it's quite expensive. My big camera has 6 cameras, so it needs to be stitched together in one image. You need to render, that takes hours, and clients, they just don't understand how big of a problem that is in terms of cost and time. So, this took care of all of this. If I uploaded my file to the servers, they made proxy files for me to be able to edit like without even having a beast of a computer. So I called the number on the website. I spoke with Joao for 1 hour, just talking about virtual reality and stuff that we know that we were interested in. And Joao told me at the end of the conversation, Adriaan, your knowledge is very valuable. Can I hire you as a freelancer? I said, of course, Joao. I said, but you have to listen to me. If you want to have my full potential, I need to be hired in your team because otherwise I still need to run around, look for jobs, knock on doors. Because I'm a foreigner, you know. I don't speak the language. It's very difficult for me, and I didn't belong to any business. And Joao said, "Okay, I give you 2 weeks to prove yourself." And after the 2 weeks, he said, "Adriaan, you're more than worth it. Here's a contract for 3 years, and let's begin." So now I'm going to speak about the company. This is a little short story of my my life, basically. Oh, and I'm Portuguese now. I have my Portuguese residency. I fell in love with Portugal. I saw the whole country in and out, and it's really beautiful. I went to the Azores as well, also really nice. A lot of cows, a lot. So, technology is an unavoidable reality that reveals opportunities unknown until now. And that's just a nice quote, and it's true. So this is our team. You see there Joao, Carolina, myself, Eduarda, Pedro, and Teresa. We now have 2 marketing people, and we have a guy that does our finances, so we can focus more on doing our job as Joao is the technology guy, I'm the creative guy, and it's better. Before we were doing everything ourselves, the social media, finance, and it's just very exhausting. Some of the companies that we work with, you might know most of them. We're doing something with Nosh now as well at the moment. I don't know if it's on there, in there. They're doing something with 5G. More of our partners, the people that we work with. Why choose an immersive agency? Well, what we do with our content is totally different, but more innovative and more grabbing the attention of customers than most other of our competitors. We approach our clients, and we approach our clients that we like to say we are a storytelling, creative software basically. I create the stories, but people can also create their own stories. Thank you. And most of the time people use just still images, as I told you before, with some hotspots here and there, but that's not interesting now. We believe that if you have a human talking to you, it's way more engaging and way more powerful for your message to get across, for your story basically. And everybody likes to hear stories, so in storytelling I believe it's more engaging and better to grab the attention. And what we do, we can, for example, in our stories, we put hotspots. So the person talks, for example, I give you an example in Lisbon that we did for a guided tour company. The video starts like this. Hello, welcome to Portugal and welcome to Lisbon, the city where you're now. If you want to know more about Praça do Comércio, click here. If you want to know more about the history of Portugal, turn the screen around, look for the hotspots, and choose wherever you want to go, for example. So it's an engaging way. You tell people, look around, choose your own path. There's information here and there, and people can choose their own style, how they want to travel or navigate in this environment. I also believe that this is a very nice future for website, because nowadays we just have websites. It's very static. It's boring basically, and all the information that you need, you can also do in video. You say for a restaurant, it's also the same. Hello, welcome to our restaurant. If you want to know what kind of foods we have, click here. If you want to see our inside, follow our hostess inside, and she will show you around. Do you want to meet the chef? You can meet the chef. Do you want to book a reservation? Here you can book a reservation. So it's very nice, dynamic. It's a new way of presenting your business or showing your story to an audience. Here's some information about the retail industry that we're also doing and where it's going. Also a nice example that we already made for shopping. Basically, if you show your store in 360, you can see all around. So you can see all the clothes hanging, for example. And if somebody wants to check out that clothes, they can click on the clothes, a menu opens up, and they can order straight away from the environment, from the 360 environment, basically. Here's some apps that we do, that we made. We made some nice wine AR apps as well. And some virtual tours. So virtual tours, they for car shop, for example. The middle one is for a hotel, and the bottom one is in Antwerp. Actually, it's also for a guided tour company. We are working with your tours with them. I was just talking about Lisbon, and it's this video. I also brought a VR headset with me for people that want to try, like later, to see how this actually works in practice. And what we do with our software, we make it so simple, but I also like to say that even your grandmother or your mother can create a virtual tour in our platform. Because we believe that anybody can create this. We just provide the tool to do it, and I'm making the use cases. So if somebody says, like, okay, I don't know, I cannot do it myself, no problem, we can do that as well. These are some of the tools that we use. And again, we focus our sort of business on storytelling. We think this is the most important thing. And as you can see, well, some statistics. Let's see. We also do live streaming. That's very interesting for events and for also, this could also be live streaming, but we're also live streaming here. But if you have like on stage, there's a lot of things happening on stage. You can imagine people want to look around or stand next to a DJ or stand next to your favorite band. You can do that in VR. What I'm trying to do maybe next week, I live in Moita now, and there's the bull running stuff going on there. And I don't know if I'm going to do it, but I'm thinking of taking that one and giving me a virtual reality experience. Me running away from the bulls. So let's hope I will survive.
Yourself.
Yeah. I'm running away from the bulls, and I think nobody has ever done that before here in Portugal, at least, or in Spain. I don't know, but also VR in classrooms is also a thing. Because you can create your own environment, you can create your own learning tools and be more innovative in that, basically. So we're also creating this. This is a machine with a touch screen. Well, the Zoom thing is right above.
You can take it out.
Let's see.
Minimize it.
Yeah. So. This is a touch screen, and you can see underneath there's like a little black hole, and in that black hole we will put the VR headset. And the idea is that you see experiences on the screen. You can choose the experience that you want to choose. It can be a tourism thing, it can be a game, it can be anything. It can be entertainment, and people can pay for that experience, like very low amount. and that will generate revenue, but also give people like the possibility to try it. Because there's a lot of people that never tried VR before, that want to try, and I can already imagine you're putting these devices, for example, in the university, in a museum, that would really make sense. Cruise ships would also make sense if you are booking, if you're on a cruise and you want to see, okay, now I'm in Lisbon, what's there to do in Lisbon? Well, we already made the content, what's there to do in Lisbon? Also in Porto and Braga and Guimarães. So it makes total sense for us to have like this technology and put it on interesting places. It can also be in shopping malls, for example. So, this is a little bit of information about what the applications are basically. So yeah, I already talked a bit about this. This is our portfolio that we did with Microsoft. This is an AR app. This is for a studio that wanted to have their studio in 3D. This is also a nice touristic thing that we made. This is like a map you can zoom in, and then you have like the, I don't know how to say, Oljau. Oljau in 3D, basically like Google Maps thing. And here's again a different storytelling with a guide. This was in Everett about some historic buildings and walls and everything. And here's the Euro Tours again. The wine with somebody explaining about the wine. Well, I'm not done yet. I'm forgetting a very interesting project that we're doing right now. We're combining all of the new technologies that you can imagine for VR. So there's a thing called a haptic feedback suit. And a haptic feedback suit is it looks like a body warmer, and you can put this on you. And it got sensors, 20 here and 20 on your back, and it's basically built for gaming. So if you shoot somebody, if you're playing a boxing game or something else, you can feel the vibrations, and it's programmable. We're also doing something with erotics. I would call it porn. Call it erotics because
we all need revenue.
I found a Portuguese erotic storyteller. And I explained to him like what I wanted to do. I want to create an interactive video so the person can choose how the video will go. So for example, it can be anything. It's your imagination can go out. But I'm doing a pilot project with a massage video. So because it makes sense with the vest that there's something with touch. The technology is already that far that there's a thing for the man on the machines and for the woman also. And for the woman it works very interesting. So you have like a pillow on one side, and you have like a lingerie type of device that you have on. And there's a little machine here that works on pneumatics, and when you touch the pillow, it translates the movement there. So that's very interesting, and we can of course also program that for our experience. So we have a full experience of the body and that touch. And that's what we're doing now. It's very interesting. But I also see the possibilities of using this for mental health care, for lonely people, for people and elderly people, for people with mental disabilities, for example autism, or people that have traumas with sexual abuse. That can be, with a professional, with a mental health care provider. We can create an experience that is not real physical, but it's like in between. So it can be filling a gap for somebody who needs to deal with traumas, or it can be fighting loneliness for elderly people, also with a professional, of course, because I can imagine some people are very afraid to touch anybody or to speak with somebody or to have the contact if you're older. So that's something very interesting that we are working on now as well. And there was a project in the Netherlands last year, what I was doing. I met this Moldovan woman. She creates baby carrier cloth. She won a startup prize, and now she's living in the Netherlands because of that. And she believes that babies need to be carried on the chest of the mother. It's very important for infants to have like skin-to-skin contact, but we lost that, and it's because of the English. Long time ago, the English they thought that only gypsy people do the babies like this, but actually all of humanity did it this way until the English developed the stroller. And in the Netherlands, actually, it goes much further. We have something called sleep training for babies, and basically it's baby torture. You just put your baby in a dark room, you let him cry for hours, and then when that time is up, you take the baby back. And this is very crazy. Now they're fighting against that to abolish the baby training, sleep training stuff, because the baby really knows what it needs. It cries in a different way when it says, I need sleep, I'm thirsty, I'm hungry, I need love, and the mother should be able to recognize that instead of what's happening now, just let the baby sleep, oh, it's crying again, no. And she makes this baby carrier cloth with sensors inside, so she can measure like the stress levels of the baby and other things like blood values and many of those things. And she asked me, Adriaan, you with your VR, can you think of something for me with my project, with my baby project? I said, yes, let me think, 5 minutes. And then I thought, I got it. So, I will create in VR how it is to be born. So, the video starts like this. Hello, welcome to the world. Open your eyes for the first time. Feel your mother's heartbeat to do with that soup again, with the haptic feedback soup. And then a different voiceover says something like, did you know that when a baby is born, it needs its mother affection? It's very important in the first stages of life, blah, 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 blah. So, I'm not only doing erotics, I'm completing this circle. Yes. So, that's it for today. My first time ever doing this, standing for a class, so I was a bit nervous, but I think I did alright. So, questions? If you have.
So first thanks for sharing. It's really nice. Nice story. So for a friend, how much it costs is
For a friend?
it's usually honest.
Well, depends what you want,
Because I'm trying to see some guys for the kids, so for the PlayStation and so on, and those usually cost already 300, 500, 600 euros. So the full body equipment and so on, and do you need all this stuff just to do a hardware experience like the site?
No. For the site you don't need. The site is what I forgot to mention is that I believe that the VR it's not that widely available that everybody uses the glasses. So our software is also on the phone. You know, it can be the applications on the phone, and it's an option to put in VR.
So
you just put you can already go to the website, Cyango website, and you can see all the videos, and you can just use it with your phone swiping basically, because we are not that far that we have lenses that we can see everything in VR. I think that will take another 10 years or something. Yeah, but for the suit and everything, it's a nice experience to have to experience like in a group or on location, because the suit is like 600-700 euros. The glass are also like 300-400 euros. So yeah, then you're already quite expensive. So it's what you want to invest. If you're a gamer or if you're an institution or if you have events, then it makes sense to have this. Yes. Yeah.
Do you have anything planning anything social, using social VR, like people together in the same experience? Or?
Yes, we are also working on a class project. So, but that's more like a teacher standing in front of a class explaining a new way of learning. But social, we have already so many things in VR like Rec Room and VR Chat.
Yeah.
So for us at the moment, it's not something that we think is interesting. But for the future, we could do this because our competitors also have like an option, for example, to dial in, to have like a webcam function. So this is something that we will eventually also do. But for now, we are working on something different because if there is a need, you know, of course we will implement.
No, I was just thinking. And what about real time? How does it work?
Real time? What do you mean real time?
You talked about real time, having real VR in real time in your presentation.
I'm sorry. I think real time is, for example, with live streaming. So if we are live streaming, that's like a real time experience, which you can also watch back later. So all of the things we do in our software with add-ons, with like 3D objects or information hotspots. For example, if somebody is in the class teaching, he wants to present something, you know, and then guys look around, click here, then you can have like extra information. That's like real time. Yeah.
So now you have some application. You can use it.
I don't know if we can use it because I need Wi-Fi for this.
Oh, let's see. We have Wi-Fi.
Yeah, I know. It changed every week, and it was.
Yes. Let me see if.
Nice. Yeah, you need to, when it's on, you need to tell me like what's...
Yes, let me just see if we can grab here the Wi-Fi.
Sorry, just one question.
Yes, of course.
How many guys do you have in software?